A pioneer of Okinawan Goju-Ryu karate in the United States, Anthony Mirakian was an exponent of traditional karate as he had been taught in Okinawa. Alongside the likes of Pat Burleson, Bruce Lee, Jun-Ri, Alan Steen, George Mattson, Ed Parker, Tsutomu Oshima, and Robert Trias, he was an early pioneer of Asian martial arts in the United States. Anthony Mirakian was born on 12th of November 1933 in Havana, Cuba. His parents, Ruben and Vartui Mirakian, were Armenians who had fled their country due to the genocide. He had a sister. Mirakian grew up in Cuba, where he attended school. He graduated from school and was the valedictorian of his class. By 1950, Mirakian had become an American citizen, having been granted a green card. On the 25th of June 1950, the Korean War began with North Korea invading South Korea. Mirakian had dreamed of becoming a pilot, so he enrolled in the United States Air Force. As the Korean War raged, Mirakian was deployed to Okinawa. He was stationed at the Kadena Air Force Base, where he worked as an Air Force weapons technician. During his free time, Mirakian began practicing martial arts. His first exposure to Goju-Ryu karate was at the Shoreikan dojo of Seikichi Toguchi. Mirakian trained at Toguchi's dojo 6 nights a week. The training was intense, with around 40 students training in a hot and humid dojo. All training was supervised by Toguchi, and students were expected to give 100% effort. Ryutitsu Arakaki also trained at Toguchi's dojo. He and Mirakian became good friends. Noting how Mirakian was passionate about his training, he suggested he train with Meitoku Yagi, who was considered one of the top Goju-Ryu instructors in Okinawa. Mirakian and Arakaki visited the dojo of Yagi. Mirakian was interviewed by Yagi for an hour. Satisfied by the answers he received, Yagi accepted him as a student. Yagi operated a very traditional dojo, and training usually lasted for around 4 hours. Mirakian was the first Westerner to train at Yagi's Meibukan dojo. Mirakian would take an hour's bus ride to train at Yagi's dojo. Most of his free time was taken up by his karate practice. He ended up serving several tours of duty during the war, as he wanted to maintain his karate practice. His dedication saw him eventually become the first Westerner promoted first Dan by Yagi. In 1958, Mirakian represented the Meibukan dojo at a large martial arts demonstration held in Genoza. There were over 2,000 people in attendance. He was the only Westerner participating. Initially, when he got up to perform his kata, he was booed by some of the crowd. However, by the end of his kata, he had won the crowd over, as they recognized he was a serious martial artist. Yagi promoted Mirakian to 3rd Dan in November 1959. A party was held in Mirakian's honor. Some of those in attendance included Meitoku Yagi, Seikichi Toguchi, Shinken Taira, Seikichi Higa, and Ryuritsu Arakaki. Mirakian completed his final tour of duty and returned to the United States in 1959. On his return to the United States, Mirakian settled in Watertown, Massachusetts. In 1960, he founded the Okinawan Karate-Do Academy at the Armenian American Social Club. This was the introduction of Okinawan Goju-Ryu in the United States. Running a traditional dojo, his classes were known to be intense. In 1960, Mirakian married Helen Boskortian. The following year, their daughter Doreen was born. Mirakian began working at Raytheon, a technology firm, in 1966. In 1964, the inaugural Long Beach International Karate Championships were held in Long Beach, California. It was the brainchild of Kenpo practitioner Ed Parker. Apart from the tournament, the event showcased demos from many top martial artists. Mirakian was invited to the event alongside Pat Burleson, Bruce Lee, Jun-Ri, Alan Steen, George Mattson, Tsutomu Oshima, and Robert Trias. By 1967, Mirakian had begun to establish his style of karate in the United States. That year, he moved his dojo to a new storefront location. 5 years later, he again relocated his dojo. In 1972, Meitoku Yagi appointed Mirakian as the overseas manager of his association. By the mid-1980s, Mirakian was widely recognized as one of the faces of traditional Okinawan Goju-Ryu karate in the United States. Mirakian was promoted to 8th Dan by Yagi in 1985. On the 10th of February 1985, Mirakian was invited to a special celebration in honor of Meitoku Yagi's 73rd birthday by his son Meitatsu Yagi. Mirakian traveled to Okinawa with his wife and daughter as the U.S. representative of Meibukan Goju Karate in honor of the celebration. On the 18th of August 1990, The 30th anniversary celebration of the founding of the Okinawan Goju-Ryu Karate-Do Association was held at the Shimin Kaikon in Ginawan, Okinawa. Mirakian was accompanied by his students to the celebration. They participated in the event. Mirakian was promoted to 9th Dan on the 21st of October 1990. He traveled to Okinawa, where he received his promotion from Meitoku Yagi. Mirakian was the first foreigner to receive the rank from Yagi. On the 17th of August 2009, Mirakian's wife of over 40 years, Helen, died following a bout of illness. August 2010 marked the 50th anniversary of Mirakian's teaching career. There were several events to mark the anniversary. Lin Changyi, a white crane kung fu master from Taiwan, gave a seminar. A banquet was also held. There were representatives from all the major traditional Goju-Ryu organizations in attendance. Mirakian suffered a stroke in 2014. This did not stop him from going to the dojo to watch the classes. Anthony Mirakian died on the 31st of March 2015 at his home in Watertown, Massachusetts. He was 82 years old. He was survived by his daughter, Doreen. On the 4th of April 2015, a chapel service was held for Mirakian at the Jiragosian Funeral Home in Watertown. He was laid to rest at the Ridgelawn Cemetery. For Anthony Mirakian, karate was never about making money. He never advertised his dojo. He got the majority of the students by word of mouth. Mirakian tried to run his dojo in the traditional way he had been taught in Okinawa. His dojo was known as the most traditional dojo in North America. Mirakian's legacy continues through his students, who continue to train and teach at his dojo. Thank you for watching Finding Karate's profile on Anthony Mirakian. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel.